Hey everyone, what is up and welcome back to another episode of the Life Lifter Show. If you are struggling to build muscle, if you have a skinny fat physique, well today I've got with me Ollie Rhoda. Ollie is an online fitness coach, one of the most in-demand coaches at the moment out there for helping guys build muscle, get leaner and get jacked. So first of all, Ollie, welcome to the show and thank you for being here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, awesome, man. So, Ollie, for yourself, you're obviously in great shape now. You built a lot of muscle, but I'm sure you weren't always. You didn't just come out the womb this way. It was a it was a process. So, what was the moment or the turning point that made you want to actually start working out?
Flattering me, mate. I'm not that good shape. So I started off really skinny myself.
Sure.
Growing up, I was never that confident. Didn't even really like put my hand up in class, anything like this.
Yeah.
Growing up the whole way through school, and it was hard being skinny because I was at an all-boys school. So as you can imagine, you get pushed about, kind of playing
Yeah.
football, and so it kind of knocked my confidence growing up.
Okay.
And it was only until I say when I got about to 17, 18, I was like, right, I really want to push this now because I wanted to improve my confidence.
Sure.
Of course, at that age, you want to start going after girls and
Yeah.
and things like this. And I just got into it and I got addicted to it.
Yeah.
When I first got in, I struggled a lot with kind of anxiety. Didn't really like being in there. So I was a skinny
Okay.
kid, thought everyone was looking at me. And I'm assuming you probably felt that yourself
Yeah.
when you
100%, mate.
got in. Yeah.
That was my segue.
Yeah.
It was like it came out of insecurity for me. I'll let you keep going though, Ollie.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So you get in there, you think everyone's looking at you. So when I first got in there, I was probably only going once, twice a week.
Sure.
But then once I actually started learning a lot more, and I started thinking I was performing movements right, I just started going all the time,
Yeah.
and it's been the same ever since. It's good for kind of mental well-being as well.
Yeah.
I feel almost low in energy if I don't go to the gym, and it's
Yeah.
almost like, what am I doing if
Yeah.
I'm not going there? Yeah.
Yeah. So was there any trigger moment that like did someone say something to you, or was it just like out of your own desire to get better?
Yeah, I people would say things all the time. Skinny arms, noodle arms.
Yeah.
Obviously, some of my mates would say it, but they're just joking around. But I'd say when I was about, it must have been 17. Did you have birthday beats at your school?
We didn't have birthday. Not really. No.
So when's your birthday? You basically
Yeah.
punch someone on the arm. It was like I think it must have been 16 because it was before I went into A levels, and I got absolutely battered on my
Really?
birthday. Like it was by basically we had this. It's called the pavilion. It was basically where you'd done all your sports and whatnot, PE,
Sure.
and everyone goes there. 100 kids in the
Yeah.
morning, and yeah, it was birthday beats, and my arm was fully swollen.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, I can't even defend myself at all. And that's when I thought, like, right, I really want to start
Yeah.
hitting the gym and getting bigger. Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah. So you rewind it back to that moment and that triggered you to make a change.
Yeah.
What was your step so to go from even just 0 to 1?
So first of all, I signed up to a gym.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think I did to begin with. I think I was paying something like the gym near me was like £3 to go for a session. So
Okay.
it was perfect.
Cheaper than a coffee.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Although that was a lot at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of eased myself in there. Didn't really know what I was doing at all. Started off with machines, as most people do. Would never touch free weights, cables, because I felt awkward even attempting it. And then once I started feeling a bit more confident, what I did myself is went at similar times. Because if you're going at similar times,
Yeah.
you're seeing the same faces.
That's
It's not
good.
as if you go in there and you get a kind of a fright with some massive
Sure.
guy you've never seen before. And then I started doing that and just started easing myself in and started going from 1-2 times a week to 3-4 times a week
Yeah.
until 5 times a week. That's what I do now, and that's what I've done for years, really.
So when you started then, how quickly did you start seeing making progress?
To begin with, it wasn't quickly, just because I didn't really know what I was doing.
Sure.
And that's kind of why I went out and done a lot of research myself.
Yeah.
But then once I actually started learning a lot about the nutrition side of things, then things changed. Because, say, for the first 6 months, I didn't even think about nutrition.
Yeah.
But then, as you know and I know, nutrition is 70% of the
Yeah.
battle. So once I started focusing on that and learning a lot about calories, macros, things changed. So I was trying to pack on size, so I've got myself in quite a big surplus.
Sure.
And yeah, and then I've been going through different phases throughout
Yeah.
in terms of my training
Yeah.
throughout the years. Yeah.
I guess when you're starting out, it's like nearly anything at all you do, you're going to see benefits from a
Yeah.
physique or muscle building standpoint. But obviously,
Yeah.
as that will level off as time goes on.
Yeah.
On your end, then, like, when did you realize then that okay, you've actually seen the progression in yourself that you wanted to help others?
So that was more so after university. So
Mm,
I went to university, fell off a little bit, was drinking as most people do,
okay.
and I was a nightmare. I was going out all the time, three,
Yeah.
4 times a week, and I had no kind of purpose whatsoever. It was only until I
Sure.
got to the end of university, and it was around COVID time, and I thought, right, what do I really love doing? I've got my degree, of course. I could go into an office job, but I love fitness, and I started posting a lot about fitness and my transformations.
Yeah.
And I didn't think I would get as many messages as I did, but as soon as I started posting my before and afters, because I was ridiculously skinny,
Yeah.
so many people were messaging me and asking me tips about training, nutrition, and I was just giving it out for
Sure.
free because I enjoyed doing it.
Yeah.
And at the time, I thought, I've loved talking about this. I love helping people, even for
Mm,
free. And I just thought, right, I'm just gonna sack off my degree, as bad as
yeah.
it sounds, and I'm just gonna become an in-person PT.
Okay.
So I went and did my PT qualification, loved it. I was about to actually start on the gym floor. As I was starting on the gym floor, someone reached out to me and said, you'd be really good as an online coach." So I started looking into that. I started doing a lot of courses online, just learning more and more. And then I was like, right, I don't even want to do an in-person. I don't want to be an in-person PT, because I started learning that in-person PTs, they're great for people who struggle with motivation, who can't actually push themselves through the session. Whereas I wanted to see great changes. I wanted to produce great transformations, great before and after photos. And that's when online coaching is a lot better, because you're tailoring everything to their lifestyle. You're with them the whole way through.
Sure.
And I didn't think I could achieve the results I've produced as an in-person PT. And then I went down the online coaching route.
Okay, so what are some considerations people should make if they're deciding whether they should hire an in-person or an online coach?
I'd say if you really struggle with motivation, have an in-person PT. And I say that to guys on
Mm,
calls, guys I talk to, because, and that's if you struggle with motivation actually through the session,
sure.
because we can't force you to go to the gym. However, if you want to completely transform your physique, an online coach is going to be a lot better for you, mainly due to the fact it's constant kind of accountability, it's constant contact, it's constant updates. Where an in-person PT, they've got you for an hour a week, and they're not even
Sure.
thinking about what you're doing for the rest of the week.
Mm,
Where online coaching, yeah, it's all tailored to kind of the client's lifestyle, but also the nutrition is huge. As I mentioned earlier, 70-80% will come
yeah,
from the nutrition, and you could train harder and better than anyone else in the world. If your nutrition's not in check, you're never going to
100%.
get yourself to where you want to be.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
get the best of both. You get the training on nutrition.
100%, yeah.
I think as well what it does is it will still develop a bit of almost independence, that you can still go to the gym on your own, but you're not just DIYing it. Like, you have a plan in place, you're checking in with your coach before the session, after the session, but
Exactly.
you still have the time freedom to go when you want, where you want, if you're traveling, if you're at home. Whereas I guess sometimes people are like, they're stuck in the PT's hours, whereas with the
Yeah.
online, you essentially, you can go in your own time, even if you don't have access to a gym, you can still do it from your own home gym, or
100%, definitely.
Yeah.
And I work with a lot of business owners myself as well, so it's about
Sure.
factoring into their lifestyle. So
Exactly.
me and you both know that as business owners, from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to sleep, we're working, and it's
Yeah.
hard for us to switch off.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of guys come to me, business owners, and say, I just can't switch off from work and go into the gym. And I let them know that, because they think in their head that their business is going to go down if they're going to the gym. It's not going to be performing as well as what it was previously. But I've worked with loads and loads of business owners over the last couple of years, and they tell me that their business progresses once they're into their fitness routine.
Okay.
And me and you know that because of its productivity. You're more
Sure.
energized. You've got better structure. You talk to people better. You're more respected in the
100%.
workplace. And when we say things like this, people think we're just saying it, but it's 100% true.
100%. Yeah.
And I've actually got a client who I'm going to be doing a podcast with next month. Actually, I think it's in May, and just going over exactly that, because if he sent me a voice note saying my business is 3x since I joined you. People respecting me a lot more. So easy talking to customers, and it's amazing.
Amazing, man. 100%. Yeah, there's such a correlation with like your mental performance, how you're feeling on a daily basis when you show up for yourself first and you take care of your physical body. It's like the mind will always follow.
100%, and it's the same for me. If I
Same as
haven't
that.
hit a
Yeah,
gym session and I just try and work flat out all day,
sure.
I'm nowhere near as productive.
100%.
Whereas if I hit the gym session, I'm feeling good, the endorphins are flying. I'm like,
Yeah.
right, let's do this, really, really quick. Whereas it'd probably take me 3 days if I didn't hit the gym.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of the gym, what are some of the most like common muscle building mistakes you see guys make?
So a lot of guys go into the gym and just target one muscle group at a time, which, well, that actually brings me on to my first point, is that a lot of people don't do what they enjoy. If you're not doing what you enjoying, you're never going to be consistent.
Sure.
So you've got to get yourself on a plan you enjoy, you can stay consistent with every single week, because
Yeah.
otherwise you'll do 3-4 weeks and fall off. So that's more important. But if you actually want to build muscle mass, I always recommend targeting each muscle group twice a week.
Yeah.
Just because you're going to get a lot more volume for that muscle group. It's just going to help you in terms of progression. It's going to make things 2 times faster in order for you to achieve your goal.
Yeah.
But a lot of muscle building mistakes comes back to the nutrition as well.
Okay.
Because there's not enough protein.
Sure.
And a lot of guys in my DMs have said, look, I've been training for 3-4 years, I haven't seen any results. And I say, what's your nutrition like? And they say, it's non-existent.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and that kind of explains it. But
So what are some of the nutrition mistakes then that you feel a lot of people make?
I don't feel like people track calories at all.
Yeah.
So if you need to lose body fat and lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit. And I have so many guys come to me who have far too much body fat.
Sure.
And they say, I need to build muscle, like I need to
Yeah.
go into a bulk. And I'm sure you've had that as
Yeah.
well.
You have to earn the right to get there.
Yeah. And I say, look, you've got to get lean. You've got to get down to 10-12%. If
Sure.
you're 10-12% body fat, if you're anything above 15% body fat,
Agreed.
you need to strip that right down.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just don't have the right, they've got the right vision, but it's not the right strategy there.
Sure.
And it's not their fault. They've never been taught. And that's where we come in and give them the direction.
Yeah.
And I have guys messaging me saying, how have this person achieved this transformation? Like, it looks unrealistic. Are they on steroids? And I say, no, it's just,
Yeah.
we've got the right training, the right nutrition. We've got them really lean. We've reversed the diet. We've slowly brought carbs up, brought calories up, then start packing on muscle at a faster pace, and then up to maintenance. And I always say to guys, I want you to come to me and never need me again. In 6 months or a year's time, you can go away and never need me again, because you've gone through that process. You're at maintenance. You've got the knowledge behind you, and you can stay in shape for the rest of your life.
Become redundant.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of training then, so what are some training principles then that you yourself abide by or you coach your clients on?
So training with intensity is the
Sure.
most important factor, because so many people go through the motions. They half-heart their exercise. They might be doing the right exercises. They might be performing them with perfect form. But if you're not training with the right intensity, you're never going to build that muscle. And I always say, if you're doing 10 reps to failure, the only ones you're going to build muscle from is rep 8, 9, 10. So if you're stopping at 6 or 7, then
Sure.
yeah, you might be burning calories in kind of a fat loss phase, but you need to be building that muscle.
Yeah.
Even if you're in a fat loss phase, you've got to be training with that high intensity, because the more muscle you build, your BMR increases, and it's a lot easier to strip the
100%.
body fat as well, which a lot of people don't realize.
Okay. Intensity, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there was a thing that Arnold used to only count to, and he only used to count the reps when they got hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so when it comes to intensity, like, have you found from your coaching, Ollie, that there's like an optimal amount of volume that you need to do each week, or sets per body part?
So, yeah, so kind of 10 to 20. That's what I'd recommend. But it also depends on your routine and what you can get in, really. Because I feel like that's where so many people go wrong, is they'll say, right, suddenly I want to get into a fitness routine. I want to change my physique, and then set themselves 6 days a week in the gym for 2 hours on 2 hours ago, and then 2 weeks go by, 3 weeks go by, and they're not consistent at all.
Yeah, so it's like it's what you're able to recover from almost that you can always build up.
Yeah,
I think a
of
lot of
course.
people, they just try do too much too soon, it leads to injury. It's like it's always better just to start less and build up rather than have to actually subtract because you're just not able to actually recover from it.
Yeah, definitely. And I've got guys training 3 times a week, 40-minute
Yeah.
sessions, and they're crushing it.
Yeah.
So because they've got the nutrition in place
Sure.
and it fits their structure, fits their lifestyle.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you had to pick 10 exercises to build a lean athletic physique, what would they be and why?
Oh, that's good. So you need a bit of cardio in there. I
Okay.
always implement incline walking just because
Okay.
it's low intensity, steady state cardio. And that's what a lot of people do with fat loss as well. They'll go and jump on a 40-minute run or at the end of their sessions where that you just can't stay consistent with that over time. Incline walking allows you to burn the calories. So it's going to push you further into the deficit, but it's not going to be too high intensity where you're going to cheat on your diet.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will do a 40-minute run, 50-minute run, go away and have 2,000 calories.
I burned 750 calories, so
yeah.
I should eat all those back. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and I say to them, you're best off of not have done the run and then not eat all that food. So that's one. So we have one bit of cardio. You need your heavy compound lifts, the likes of your pressing movements. I'd put a dumbbell press in there.
Yeah.
Alongside an incline press.
Okay, so a flat dumbbell and also an incline dumbbell.
Flat dumbbell, incline dumbbell.
Okay.
The thing is, people get to focus on the exact exercise, but
Sure.
you could do a flat dumbbell press or you could do a flat press machine. But I'd choose those two as opposed to a flat bench press.
Okay.
Just because you want, to build your chest, you want it to be converging towards the
Sure.
midline of your body, whereas a flat bench press, you're almost driving outwards.
Sure.
But that brings me back onto intensity, is that although some exercises are more optimal than others, it's all about the intensity you train at, because you can build more muscle doing a flat bench press than a dumbbell press if you're training with more intensity.
Sure. Okay.
But yeah,
That's
we've got flat dumbbell press,
We've got
incline dumbbell press, just because they're two movements I really enjoy, and I enjoy progressing on them.
Sure.
And if you enjoy progressing on them, you're going to progressively overload more, you're going to build more muscle.
Good.
I like a chest supported T-bar row.
Yeah, brilliant.
So that's to build your kind of mid to upper back, flaring your elbows out, pulling past your body. I'd have a lat movement, so probably a neutral grip lat pull down, because with a wide grip, you're almost hitting your mid to upper back really, because you're flaring your elbows out, you're pulling past your body, as you know yourself, where with kind of a neutral grip, you can actually drive your elbows towards your hips, and that's going to target more of your lats, which is going to give you that wide look. So that's up to 5. A lateral raise, 100%. Lateral raise machine or
underrated.
Yeah, I love a lateral raise machine or a cable lateral raise.
Yeah.
I'd opt in for them as opposed to dumbbells because it's just a better profile for your side delt.
The resistance, okay.
Resistance, yeah.
We're at 6, so what are your final 4?
Let's go. And then shoulder press and movement.
Yeah.
Because that's just because I love it. You need a squat in there. So I'd go for hack squat myself.
Okay.
Barbell squat, of course, is really good, but I feel like so many people hate leg day. Everyone comes to me and says, "Oh yeah, I haven't trained legs for 3 years."
Yeah.
So you want to choose.
It's a bit cruel, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So you need to choose a leg workout you actually enjoy. I think hack squat is more enjoyable than a barbell squat personally.
Sure.
So I'd get that in there, and then we've got. I need a couple of arm movements. Arm movements. My go-to tricep extension.
Yeah.
With a dual rope, because it allows you full range of motion. Otherwise, you're a bit locked in. You can't get the full range of motion. Elbows back, shoulders and elbows in the same position.
Sure.
So a tricep extension, and then probably a preacher curl machine. I'd go for. Okay. I think that adds up to 10. I don't know.
That's very upper body dominant, Ollie. Ollie obviously skips the legs, so does he?
yeah. You do your legs once a year,
That's good. Legs in Christmas Day. Okay, so speaking of, so there's some of the upper body. When it comes to nutrition, should guys who want to, so going back to your transformation journey, if someone is a bit skinny, they want to gain a bit of muscle, should they dirty bulk?
They shouldn't dirty bulk
at
all. One, because if you're in too high of a calorie surplus, you're going to put on too much body fat throughout that journey. Yeah. And dirty bulking is probably going to put you in too high of a calorie surplus. If you're gaining weight, gaining muscle 200 to 300 calorie surplus is perfect. So 200 to 300 calories above your maintenance. That's going to give you that more energy to train hard, progress on your lifts, and then you're going to build that muscle, but you're going to maintain the good composition.
Sure.
And then you're going to get to a point where you've got a lot more muscle mass, but you've still got that lean, defined look. You might go into a bit of a mini cut at the end of it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you dirty bulk, you're going to gain a lot of body fat.
Yeah.
Once you go into your cut, you're going to actually lose muscle probably because you've got too much body fat and it's hard to navigate. So that's one reason I wouldn't dirty bulk, but also energy levels. If you're dirty bulking, you're having
100%.
loads of fatty foods, it's going to be so much harder for you to train hard in your sessions and actually progress on your lifts and build the muscle. But also it's just way of life as well. You don't want to be crashing at 3-4 p.m. And that's what a lot of the guys I work with say. I work with a lot of guys in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and they say, oh, I'm good in the morning. I hit the gym. It gets to 3, 4, 5 p.m. and I just crash out. And that is the nutrition. It's what you're eating, what you're putting in your body.
Yeah. It's like you're just like, it's like a lazy way of just like giving yourself an excuse to eat more food. It's like you don't need 1,000 calorie surplus and drink a gallon of milk a day. It's like you just need to be consistent.
Okay. And I have some people as well who say. So I actually work with a lot of fat loss clients now. I'd say 95% of the guys I work with are fat loss, wanting to lose the weight, get them lean, reverse the diet, and build the muscle as well. But when I first got into it, I was working with a lot of guys trying to bulk up, pack on size, and guys would come to me and say, I'm on 5,000 calories, but I'm not gaining any weight.
Yeah.
And I'd say to them, you're not.
You're not on 5,000 calories,
Yeah, because I think what people do is they're in a quite a big calorie surplus of 500 or so, but then it gets to one day where they will be nowhere near it, and then that damages your progress for the whole week. So if you're on, I don't know, say you're on 3,000 calories every day, Monday to Friday, and then you drop down to 1,000 for Saturday, Sunday, obviously it depends on your height and weight and where you're at, but it's unlikely you're actually going to gain the weight. And it's the same with fat loss clients. It's the exact same thing. It's where the reverse. Guys could be really, really on it Monday to Friday. Say their maintenance calories is 2,500 and they're on 2,000 every single day, Monday to Friday.
Sure.
If they go and have a 3,500 or 4,000 calorie day, Saturday and Sunday, or Saturday or Sunday, you're not going to lose weight over the course of the week. And and a lot of guys who come to me and they need the help, they say that I'm really good Monday to Friday, but it's the weekends that
it's
kill
30% of your week though.
100%.
It's like,
you
know, if you take into consideration that, it's like, that's why if you know you've got something on, like, just look at them from a weekly rather than a daily point of view. It's like, okay, 2,000 a day times 7 is 14,000 a week. So you could have 4,000 on Saturday, but God, you've only got like whatever 10k left for the week. So it's just budgeting that out. What are some of your like favorite go-to high protein meals?
First of all, I was about to do the maths there, but I thought I was going to muck it up.
Yeah.
I'm glad you done it yourself. So high protein meals, you want your lean meats, your likes of your steaks, your salmon, chicken. But I feel like people overdo it with carbs all the time. But that brings me on to another issue. Sorry, I'm going digging from your question. But another issue is that keto diets and people cut out carbs as well, where you don't want to be cutting out carbs, especially because you need the carbs for your energy levels, for your performance in the gym to actually train hard and progress on your lifts. So that's one issue with that. And another issue is that if you're cutting out carbs, it's only so long you can do that for as well. So one issue is that you can't progress on your lifts and you can't actually get the most out of your sessions, but then at some point you're going to want your carbs back as well. And then it's going to be hard to kind of navigate
That's
that.
a recipe for a yo-yo diet.
Back and forth all the time.
100%. 100%. Yeah, if you can't follow for a decade, don't follow for a day.
100%.
And then, so if someone is stuck in that like skinny fat physique, where do they even start? Should they cut? Should they bulk?
So it depends how much body fat you've actually got.
Sure.
I'd always say anything above 15% body fat, that's when you want to get yourself into a deficit and get down to about 10 to 12% body fat.
Yeah.
And by that I mean, because a lot of people don't know about kind of body fat percentage and so on. If you can't visually see your abs, if you can
Sure.
see the body fat there,
Yeah.
you should really be cutting. If you've only got a slight bit of body fat and you're completely new to training, that's different. You can stay at maintenance, you can progress on your lifts, and you can still actually burn a bit of body fat.
Yeah.
But if you've been training a while, and yeah, you can't see your abs at all, you can see the body fat there. The worst thing you can do is go into a gaining phase.
Sure.
You've got to strip that down and get lean and then build on it. I almost see it as an art. It's almost like getting a blank canvas.
Yeah.
You get a blank canvas, you lean, you then really build on it.
Sure.
But even during that fat loss phase as well, you can still be progressing on your lifts and you can still be building muscle. And I always say to guys, the fastest way to look like you've gained 5 kg of muscle mass is to lose 5 kg of body fat.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I'd go about it.
Is there such thing as like a skinny fat transformation program, or are there even some principles that people should just abide by?
So I'd say a lot of the guys I take on board are skinny fat.
Sure.
So I call it rip, reverse, rebuild. That's kind of how I promote it.
Rip,
And
reverse, rebuild.
yeah. Don't know how catchy the name is. But
Yeah, it sounds good. The 3 R's.
So yeah, and it's Ollie Rhoda as well. So yeah, you get the guys to strip the body fat. They're progressing their lifts. They're getting into a routine of their weight training. You strip them right down to 10, 11, 12% body fat. They're looking lean. They're looking defined. We then reverse it from there. Slowly bring calories up. Slowly bring carbs up, because that's where 90% of guys go wrong. 90% of guys who lose the weight end up putting it all back on and more long term.
100%.
Because they get lean and they think, right, I've done it now I can eat a bit more, and then they put it all back on and they're back to square one. And that's why I say I want guys to come to me and never need me ever again.
Sure.
So because if they do ever need me again, then I know they haven't stuck to
They didn't
what
do
I've
it
given
right the
them.
first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, get lean, reverse it. We only need to be slowly bringing up calories. So you don't want to go in from 1,800 calories straight up to 2,500. You're going to put
Sure.
that body fat straight back
100%.
on. You bring it up by 100 calories a week, or
Yeah.
150 calories, depending on where you're at in terms of your scale weight. And you slowly bring those carbs up.
Okay.
That way you've got more energy to keep progressing on your lifts, keep building more muscle. And then, so it's rip, reverse, and then you're rebuilding. And you're then focusing on kind of performance from there.
Sure.
So really focusing on certain muscle groups. Say you've got your arms are lacking, you then want more volume in terms of your arms in the next training phase, and it's about really pinpointing it to the individual.
Sure.
So you can maximize performance, and that's when you get addicted to it.
Yeah,
If you get
100%.
if you get that lean, you're reversing it, you're seeing the changes. I've got one of my good mates who I've been coaching recently. He had quite a bit of body fat, got him really lean, got him down to 1.8k kind of calories, and we've now reversed the diet. He's eating 2.8k calories now, because we reversed it right. We got the calories, the macros right, and he's loving life. He's having
100%.
loads of food. He's training hard. He's
Yeah.
still looking shredded.
That's awesome.
I'm going to post his transformation in the next few days, and
Deadly.
I've actually got a call with him today to kind of discuss it. So.
Brilliant.
And that's what you want. You
Yeah.
want to get to a point where you can enjoy your food, you can enjoy your social occasions,
Yeah.
and you're in shape, and you can stay in shape all year round.
Sure.
And I always say, I've said this to quite a few of my clients recently, is that I don't go into any gaining phase, any cutting phase myself, because I've done that process myself and I've got up to maintenance, and I stay at maintenance all year round. I just focus on trying to overload a bit more on my lifts, building a
Okay.
bit more muscle,
Yeah.
but still maintaining the good composition.
So stay kind of lean year round, but just add a bit more strength, weight to the bar.
Lean all year round.
Yeah.
That's what I enjoy. I like to be athletic. I like to be energized,
Yeah.
and I like to have a bit of an aesthetic
Sure.
look. Not super shredded, but to the point where you can see definition.
Yeah.
And because I've gone through so many years of bulking, cutting, and different approaches, I'm at a point where I'm actually happy with where I'm
Yeah,
at. It took
for
me
sure.
years to get there.
Yeah. It
but,
didn't happen overnight.
Yeah, of course. I was unhappy for years.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm someone who gets addicted to things, and I got addicted to training, and everything I do, I want to do it with 100%. I want to take
Sure.
it to the absolute highest I possibly could. Same with business, same with
Yeah.
training, same with everything really. Yeah.
Okay. Just question on the rebuilding phase. I think that's like the part that people struggle most with.
Yeah.
So let's just say, is there an optimal time frame that, let's just say someone has a 3-month transformation?
Yeah.
How quickly, ideally, are they getting like back to maintenance after a 3-month cut?
I always say to guys that so it will take a while. It'll take probably 2 to 4 months, I'd say,
Yeah.
to get up to maintenance.
Yeah.
However, I always say to guys, your best look is going to be about 6 to 8 weeks after you reverse the diet.
Sure.
So a lot of people think once they're at their leanest, that's when they're going to look the
Yeah.
best. But as you know, as I know, because we've gone through it ourselves, at that point you are a bit low in energy.
Yeah.
I almost think you look a little bit too lean at that
Yeah.
point, but it's a mental battle, and that's what I help with my clients. I really help them through that mental battle where when you're at your leanest and you're struggling with energy and you start to think you're looking a little bit skinny, I say, look, 6 to 8 weeks you're going to be in the shape of your life.
Yeah.
And it happens all the time
100%.
because they get up to maintenance, they've got more muscle mass, they're still lean, they're defined.
Yeah.
And that's why I love what I do, really.
You're eating more food without gaining a whole lot of body fat.
Exactly,
That's the ideal situation, mate.
Yes.
Awesome.
So, and then you can enjoy your social situations. And
Yeah.
going back to social situations as well, a lot of my clients, they're lifestyle clients, that they
Sure.
like to go out for a drink, they like to go out for food. And people think, and people have said to me in DMs before, I can't get in shape because I like a beer, or I can't get in shape because I like to go out with the missus. And you can do that. Actually, one of my other mates, because I coach quite a few of my friends at the moment, and one of my other friends, he got shredded, really, really shredded, really good transformation, built a lot of muscle. He went out drinking 6 weekends straight. And this isn't just a couple of
Yeah.
drinks. I know him well. He would have been
It's a blowout.
obliterated. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we planned around it, and you can
Sure.
bank calories. You can take calories off
Yeah.
leading up to it. He knows the exact calories he's got in the bank. He knows what he's drinking. I give him advice on what he should be eating. I get him to send me menus. And if you plan around it, you can go out and you can have a good
Interesting.
lifestyle. And you can still get yourself in great shape. And that's what I try and promote myself, because I'll try and post on my Instagram when I'm eating out, having a burger, or
Sure.
having a pizza, having the drink. I like a drink myself.
Yeah. What's your approach to that? So, like, how do you personally balance the fitness with the lifestyle?
So, in terms of the nutrition, or in terms of
Yeah, I'd say more so the nutrition side.
So in terms of nutrition, I like to eat out on a Saturday, every
Yeah.
Saturday. So I plan around it myself. At the moment, I'm not tracking calories myself, but for years I did, of course. But what I would do for a client is, I have clients on training day calories, rest day calories.
Sure.
If you know you want to overconsume on a Saturday,
Yeah.
you want to be on rest day calories Monday to Friday. Say it's a 200 difference. It depends how much they're training, but they could have an
Sure.
extra kind of 600 calories in the bank to overconsume. And they'll know kind of, although it might not be to the T, they'll know kind of if they're in their calorie limit.
Yeah.
And then if they're not, I'll go back and say, look, right, we haven't lost the weight here. We need to change this around, and then we plan around it the next week. And
Sure.
the aim is to get to a point where the client's seeing results every single week from day dot. Really, first few weeks maybe we're kind of getting them into the swing of things and changing things around, but all the way through to 6 months time,
Yeah.
every single week you want changes in terms of your strength progression. You want to see change in terms of scale weight, and then as the process goes on, then you start seeing changes in physique
100%
as well. Yeah,
Deadly.
yeah,
Deadly. Okay.
yeah.
And on your end then, Ollie, when it comes to, first of all, you've built a very strong personal brand over the last,
Yeah.
I'd say over the last year or two.
Yeah.
What have been some of the keys to help you do that?
Social media, of course, is the biggest side of things, and I've built TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all to quite a good following.
Yeah. What's your following on each actually?
What is my
Your following on, would say, Instagram, are you over?
Instagram? Just over
200?
200,000, yeah. Then I think Facebook is just over 100,000.
Yeah.
TikTok's over 400,000, I think.
Okay.
And I just try and give quick, easy tips. I feel like so many people out there they're too confusing with things. They try
Sure.
a lot of coaches try and be too confusing to make themselves sound more intelligent.
Yeah.
Where guys want it as simple as possible. You want to give it as simple. Like most of the people I work with
Sure.
are guys. I'd say, I think all my clients are guys now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And guys want it plain, simple. They want to get to the point. I'm very quick and easy in my content. 10 seconds.
Yeah.
This is how you build big arms. This is how you grow your side delts. I'm
Sure.
straight to the point, and people like that. And when I jump on calls with them, they say, look, you're really straight to the point. They felt like they could kind of get to know me as well, kind of before the call, and they could trust me. Mainly because I post a lot of lifestyle stuff as well. Try and talk to the camera. I've done a few podcasts, and it's all about just being relatable to guys, really.
Yeah.
And I feel like I am, and I feel like that's kind of worked well over the years.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What's your vision for Ollie Rhoda Fitness?
I just want to keep growing it. I love
Yeah.
it. I want to produce many good transformations as possible.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm at a point now where I've got a kind of transformation page on my Instagram, and it's loaded with transformations, but I want more and more and more.
Sure.
And that's what I mean when I say I take things to the extreme, because nothing's enough for me. And it's just something I love doing. I love guys saying to me, "You've changed my life." And a lot of my clients who, even if I haven't trained them for 2 years or so,
Sure.
I'm good friends with them. So I had a past client who I hadn't yet trained for 2 years. He came out a couple months ago. We went to a beach club. We chilled together. It helps in terms of connections, and it's just you get to know a lot of people all around the world as well. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Ollie, this has been awesome so far. Let's finish up with some rapid fire questions. All right. So whatever comes to mind. So what's the worst fitness advice you've ever heard?
Cut out carbs.
What's one new habit you've implemented in the last 6 months?
What's one what?
New habit you've implemented in the last 6 months?
Started tracking my time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What should I learn from that?
That so many people say they don't have time, but they do. It's all about priorities, and many people faff around doing nothing. Whereas you're probably the same. I'm itching when I feel like I'm not productive. I'm
100%.
pacing up and down around my house, like my flat. Sorry, thinking, what should I be doing?
Yeah.
Like, I need to be doing something.
If you're insecure nearly.
Yeah, and I feel like so many people use time as an excuse for not achieving goals or achieving success. But time's not an issue. No.
Yeah, I started tracking my time too. When Asri said that, it's like And then what I do now is I highlight like any red areas of like, okay, you wasted 20 minutes cooking your own food, and you can just hire someone to do that for you. It's amazing though, man, how much time you actually waste on things you're not aware of until you become conscious of it. I think in respect though, it's like when you're tracking your calories, it brings that awareness too that, God, I didn't realize there's so many calories in this, and your time is the exact same. It's like when you become aware that, okay, you actually do have the time to go to the gym 1 hour a day because you spent an hour, doing this or scrolling or watching Netflix. Exactly. If you go back to give advice to your younger self, Ollie, what advice would you give?
I would say take action.
Yeah, okay.
For so long growing up, this was in my younger years, but I'd say, I need to get into the gym. I need to do this. And I'd just keep pushing it back. I'd say once I actually improved my confidence, I'd say once I got to about 20, I'd improved a lot in terms of my confidence. I was happy in myself where I wasn't beforehand.
Good.
And at that point, everything I thought of, I'd take action. And that's the same with my career, same with fitness. As soon as I think of something, straight away, I'm implementing it. And this is why people aren't successful in whatever they do, because they're so hesitant to do something. They think, what if it goes wrong? But what if it does go wrong? What's the worst thing that could happen? If you implement everything you think of and that you want to do, you're going to be successful. And even if you're not successful, you learn a lesson from it. And that's the biggest advice I'd give.
That's good. That's good. Take action. Okay, second last one. Ollie, what are some things that you believe that most people think are crazy?
In terms of fitness or in terms of
life, fitness, general? Nothing that comes to mind.
Similar to what I mentioned there, I think taking risks. People think taking risks is scary, really scary, and it's crazy. And I don't think it is crazy, especially in your younger years. For example, since I became confident at 20 odd, I've taken risks, and some haven't gone well. Business hasn't gone well, but it was a big risk to come to Dubai. I left my family, and it was hard. But then I came here, and I was like, this is the best thing ever. It's your environment. Like when you surround yourself with the right people, it's going to keep pushing you and keep pushing you to achieve bigger things. So I'd say, people think taking risks is crazy, but I actually think it's more crazy being comfortable and staying where you are.
Yeah. What's the cost of inaction, of not making that change?
It's everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Before we ask the final question, first of all, Ollie, I want to acknowledge you. Been an awesome podcast. Dropping some value bombs there.
Yeah.
So for anyone who wants to learn more about your coaching, what you offer, where's the best place to send them, Ollie?
I'd say to my Instagram, probably best because that's where I engage with people. So Ollie Rhoda, quite simple, OLLIE.
Hard to miss him with 200k. I'll post your IG links in the show notes.
Cheers.
And because this is the Lifestyle Lifters show, what is your definition of living a successful life?
You've got to be working towards something. You've got to have a purpose.
Yeah.
If you're sat there with no purpose and you don't know what you're working towards, you'll be miserable.
Sure.
So you've got to be working towards something. You need good people around you and a good environment. I'd say they're the three main things.
Work towards something, have good people around you, and have a good environment.
Yeah, of
100%.
course. Because that's I've said this before on another podcast, and so many people have said it before, is that you're the average of the 5 people you hang around with, and that's probably my favorite quote because there's nothing more true than that. If you are hanging around with 5 losers who want to go out drinking every single weekend,
sure,
you're never going to achieve what you want to be. Whereas as soon as you surround yourself, I've realized that even more when coming out here. As soon as I surround myself with some of the best coaches in the industry,
sure,
I'm learning, and everyone pushes each other on. So if a coach who maybe isn't in the position I'm in comes to me, I want to give them as much information. I want to see them succeed.
Sure.
And I've realized coming to Dubai, everyone wants to see each other succeed, and it's really nice.
It comes back to you too.
Yeah, definitely. It comes back. Yeah, people want to help each other.
100%.
Same with me and you, same with everyone. We've kind of met out here. So yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, awesome. Ollie Rhoda, thank you very much. That's been amazing.
It's been a pleasure.
Perfect, brother.
Legend.
Boom. There we go.